This video is sponsored by MCPROHOSTING. If you go to their website, link down below, and use my code ASHERWASHERE, you can get 25% off your first month for your very own Minecraft server. This is what we use for Tyramus SMP, so it's highly recommended. Now, on to the video. Hi. If you're clicking on this video and you have no idea who I am, my name's Asher, and this is my brand new Minecraft channel that's going to have all of my content from my Minecraft SMP. Whatever it is will be on this channel. Now, let's get into the Tyramus SMP World Tour. For those of you who don't know, I run a Minecraft server that is very lore heavy, and this SMP tells a story. Let's begin. In the beginning, there was the grand city of Cinderfall to the north. This city used to be lively, wonderful, and full of life. However, only a few months ago, Cinderfall was mysteriously destroyed, and the survivors of the explosion scattered across the province and tried to come up with a solution to all of their issues. However, they were not able to come together, and while they aren't enemies, they decided to settle into 3 different kingdoms, rebuilding them with what resources that they could collect, and the world was safe. Even the Spectral Diamond, a powerful artifact, resides in NIGHTGROVE's cathedral and keeps the world canonically in peaceful mode. I'm going to go ahead and go over all of the notes that I've taken as I explored this world. Now, there are lots of things to go through, so let's start with something simple: the city of GHALARON. GHALARON, the city of the warriors to the west. They reside in a beautiful kingdom and run this as a monarchy, feeling that the bloodline of Cinderfall is superior and should lead them to victory. Outlaw, a young prince at the time that Cinderfall was destroyed, now takes over GHALARON and owns the kingdom after the king was killed in Cinderfall. The kingdom is circular in shape, contains a few houses for people to live in, a nice park where you can hang out and relax, a training area where you can hone your combat skills, a large dining hall in the center where everyone comes together to eat, and where the royalty lives. GHALARON's members are fearless, and they always want to jump straight into battle. These guys, as I've been around them, they mostly want to jump right into all of the dungeons that are around the province. I personally stay away from these places as they are locked up and forbidden due to the powerful magic that resides within. Continuing down the path, you will reach ALPINE. Now, ALPINE is a smaller city filled with random adventurers who come from all over. People come and go here as they please, and this is usually a centerpiece of the entire province. Usually they stop by the tavern and hang out with their friends all night. This place has shops, homes, and obviously the big tavern I just mentioned. And this tavern also doubles as a guild hall. People hang out here a lot, and it's a really go-to place in Tyramus. I actually spend a lot of my time here when I'm not studying magical spells. Continuing out of ALPINE and into the swampy marsh that resides north of it, you will reach the crypts of ALPINE. This is the centerpiece of the cryptid beach, and while not much is known about actually what's inside this place, we've had sightings of corpses being reanimated and zombies and skeletons spawning here even during peaceful mode. The entrance is blocked off, but more and more undead keep attacking ALPINE, and eventually, this is going to be a problem that we have to deal with. The Cryptid Beach is the entire swampy area that resides around the crypts of ALPINE. It's brown, swampy marshland. It's very gross. I don't really like spending a lot of time here, and I usually stay away from this mostly because of the undead. However, there are ruined buildings of what used to be a large graveyard that was used to bury the remains of those who have fallen at Cinderfall. However, after the dead started to rise, the graveyard was closed off, abandoned, and people really don't go there anymore, as we don't really want to see some of our past acquaintances that used to live in Cinderfall returning to haunt us in the afterlife. Let's backtrack to GHALARON and go out the southern gate. Taking that path, we'll reach a small coastal city called CARESTA. This is a very small town, and a few people set up here to initially study the ruins of Tolvia. However, the leader of CARESTA went inside the ruins, and he came back and locked himself in his house. We have no idea if he left or if he's still there today. Now, the ruins of Tolvia is this large building that's older than anything else in the province. I don't know much about this area, as I've never been able to get inside, but we do know that it goes really far down at the earth, well below what you might expect, all the way down to the bedrock itself. Now, bedrock, we don't know a lot about it. We know it's impossible to break, and it kind of scares us. Well, it scares me. Legends speak of powerful mutated creepers that were spotted down in those caverns. However, I've only read about these in books, and I've never seen one myself, so I don't really know if it's real or not. However, I don't want any part of this, as the ruins of Tolvia were sealed up long ago. In CRYPTID, there's a mine shaft that if you take, it will lead you to the town of OAKHURST. Inside of this mine shaft, you will find random ores, goodies, treasures, whatever people left behind, and this will lead you to the next city of OAKHURST. This is actually a really interesting mine shaft, and I go here a lot if I ever need to collect more iron, gold, or sometimes diamond. There's actually a closed off section of the mine called the Dark Place that nobody really goes to. While I was there, I heard noises that sounded like Endermen, but I was told that these were extinct on Tyramus Island, so I've never traveled down there. Exiting the mines, you enter into the lovely little town of OAKHURST. This town lies directly in the center of the island and is a really nice town that people stay at when they're traveling between NIGHTGROVE and GHALARON, as it takes a while to travel between the two spots. There's an inn there where people can stay for the night, as well as a couple of houses that people live in, and shops and a spot for mining, as this town is a very, very important place for trade when it comes to mining. So a lot of mining materials are actually sold here, but a few people do live and work in the mines here, and they are known for creating powerful armor and weapons. Through the mountains and out toward the other side, you'll come across a farm that was built on top of this small area of floating islands. Bucky is a farmer who survived the destruction of Cinderfall by doing what he always does. Sat at the top of his farm and took care of his ducks. We don't see him too much, but he does love to help out the people who visit him. The large mountain range of Tyramus spreads all across the center of the province. This mountain range is home to tons of caverns, some going as deep as the bedrock, which we are told to stay away from. One of these caverns goes so far underground, and while I was exploring it, I found an area with blocks of netherite locking down the bedrock, as if something from underneath had tried to break through the bedrock. I speculate the legend of the Wither had something to do with this, as people speculate that this powerful godlike creature was trapped below the bedrock and in the void. However, not much is known about this creature or if he even exists. I just read it in a book a couple times. This leads us to the other side of the island. Let's first explore the Kingdom of NIGHTGROVE that is secluded on another island that's right next to our main island. This is the newest kingdom to be built and is still being worked on heavily. NIGHTGROVE focuses on powerful magic, and this is where I live and learn new spells and upgrade old ones. There's a large cathedral in the back of the kingdom that I go to study different magics and lore on other creatures. Any remnants of the large Cinderfall archives building were saved and taken here to NIGHTGROVE. We also have assortments of shops and houses that are still being worked on, and a little fountain area right over here. Inside of the cathedral, a lone green diamond lays inside of an item frame that gives NIGHTGROVE powerful magic. This magic prevents all monsters from spawning and keeps us on peaceful mode. Then, outside the castle walls, we head into the forest and move on to the next city, called BROST. BROST is a very small marketing town that resides on the island that NIGHTGROVE is on. It's small and consists of a few houses and a few shops for people to buy things at. It's still currently under construction like all of NIGHTGROVE, but we'll be getting to it pretty soon. Past the bridge that leads you from the island to the mainland, you will get into the AURORIAN forest. This is a vast dark oak forest that contains tons of tall trees and other dark and scary things. It's a very interesting place and is almost half of the entire province of Tyramus. It's a really beautiful forest during the daytime as the sunlight pierces down through the trees, but there are also lots of dangerous things here. MILLWOOD is one of my favorite cities. If you keep going through the forest, you'll eventually come across it. You can't miss it. I tend to visit here from time to time and hang out with some people I know. The city itself contains a few houses, a few farms, a meeting building, a shop, and it's small, nice, and cozy. I spent a lot of my time here. Then, if you move down toward the beach, you get to the MILLWOOD docks. And these docks are by the coast, obviously. I was told GHALARON was going to build some docks of their own soon, but they haven't gotten around to it yet. These docks have a few random trade posts, a church, a couple other buildings, but what's important here are the docks themselves, and as of now, this is the only way to get to the mainland, away from Tyramus and where we've all settled and lived in. The boat is nice and very quick. The giant tree. There is an enormous tree that towers above all the other trees in the AURORIAN forest. I've heard the giant spiders crawl around on the inside, but nobody dares build on it or near it. I don't even go near it. People usually stay away, as this tree is pretty dangerous to be around. Sometimes spiders spawn around here, even while we are still in peaceful mode. The dark caverns underneath the AURORIAN forest. There are tons of twisting and turning caverns underneath the forest, I believe. The only surface that breaks here is this one specific cave I found over here. I wouldn't dare go inside, but people have spotted a spider the size of 10 men scratching around down there. Not entirely sure what could be down there, but I'm not brave enough to find out without a party. Following the path out of MILLWOOD, we reach the Cinder-Fallen Wasteland, where the desecrated city of Cinderfall used to be. We're not going to go over that for now, and instead we're gonna head into the Nether. The portal itself was placed here by an ancient magic that we know nothing about. Some speculate it was the Wither. The gold blocks that surround the portal keep it open, and I absolutely have to keep the portal open, because I go to the Nether every night. I search the Nether constantly. It's a very dangerous and scary place, but I need to search through it because I know that my best friend survived the destruction of Cinderfall and is the only place that she could have gone. I've looked all over the island and she is nowhere to be found, so she has to be here in the Nether, hiding out from something. She might have gotten lost and doesn't know the codes of the portal. She could be scared, I don't know, but I have to just figure it out and find her. So every single night, I go and I travel into the Nether. Even though I know it's a dark and dangerous place, and Calic would be super pissed to be found out that I was here, but I gotta do this. So I'm here every night. Back in the overworld, the last place that we traveled to was ARKHTON, the underground city of light. They carry powerful magic treasures and don't really like visitors inside of their caverns. You can totally visit the houses that are outside ARKHTON, but most of us tend to stay out of the caverns below because they kind of like to imprison people who trespass, so we just kind of like stay away, you know? But I have been in there one time when Callie invited me to snag some extra spellbooks, and I know that they also have this large open vault with tons of magical items and artifacts in there. But I've never been inside, and I know that they would probably kill me if I ever went in there. The outer city is just a few houses that lie outside of the mountain, outside of the caverns below that take you to the city of ARKHTON. There's 3 or 4 houses, and people just live here. It's very normal and calm and easy, and not a lot goes on here. A powerful creature that flew overhead a long time ago made its final resting place here in Tyramus. A couple books that I've read spoke of an island filled with these powerful beasts that breathe fire from their mouths, but I don't know anything about them. When Gideon traveled on his adventures all around the world, he found this island, but we don't really know if he's telling the truth or not, and I've never seen a creature like this before, so it could exist, but there's nothing that I know of. The river is the last stop on our list, and normally I wouldn't put this river inside of my book detailing all of the interesting places that are in the province of Tyramus. However, this river is kind of interesting. This river starts as a waterfall that comes out of the mountain and travels all the way down out toward the ocean. There's something special about this river, as every time I walk by it, I feel magical energy radiating from it, but I've yet to discover any sort of magic around here. So that's everything I have in my journal about the province of Tyramus. So this was pretty much everything that was really important. So, if you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll be sure to reply to them and answer them, and hopefully if I can. But this was all the major landmarks that I've discovered so far. I will go over Cinderfall in another video, as there's so much stuff there, and I'm kind of a little nervous to go back, as I used to live there, especially with all the blazes and wither skeletons around, but when Cinderfall is ready to explore, I will be exploring it and detailing it in another journal entry. Every piece of Tyramus knowledge that I have, I store inside of my library at my house and in the library of the Cathedral of NIGHTGROVE. It's important to me that I keep knowledge of everything abnormal here on this island as we continue to build and explore. I'm sure we will learn much more, like how mysteriously powerful bedrock is, or how netherite for some reason takes away everyone's magic. Thank you all for watching. Tune in for more Tyramus SMP videos, and that concludes this entry. So, as always, keep your pants on. Bye-bye.